everybody, it's Glenn back in this video with the Marvel Select Colossus. One I've been on the fence about picking up since it was released a year or two back, but the character's inclusion in the Deadpool movie pushed me over onto the side of picking him up. Then as we look at the packaging side art, it renders a suitably stern Colossus in Soviet red. Then on the packaging back, we get a hearty size bio, I suspect, because unlike Hasbro's Marvel Legends, Diamond Select aren't translating it into umpteen different languages. It reads, a descendant of the mad mystic Grigory Rasputin, Peter Rasputin was raised on a collective in the Soviet Union and was recruited to the X-Men by Professor Charles Xavier after his ability to turn his body into organic steel was discovered during a tractor incident. Peter took the codename Colossus and became a long-standing member of the team, finding romance with young recruit Kitty Pryde and comradeship with Wolverine, whom Colossus would frequently hurl into battle as part of their fastball special maneuver. Then pictured as Colossus on a classic comic cover and commit that to memory as it pertains to the accessory Colossus comes with. Then pictured are two other selects, both of which I have. Gambit's actually pretty good, Cyclops not so much. Now, part of why I've been so reluctant to pick up the Select is because I've been quite the fan of the old Toy Biz Marvel Legends version from way back in Series 5 over 10 years ago. But now I've finally bitten the bullet on the Select, what better time than now to pit them against each other in a comparison. So we're going to compare sculpt, deco, articulation and accessories, then you guys pipe up and declare a victor in the comments below. The Legends one has a higher level of paint deco, a level you rarely see anymore, lots of paint washes, creating a greater contrast between light and shade on the sculpted segmentation of his limbs. Yet maybe it's because we rarely see this level of deco these days, I find it a little jarring. Like the spray effect on the yellow intended to create a darker shaded tone, instead makes the yellow look more orange, with the sculpt of the muscles becoming so exaggerated that the arms read as much like bulging muscles as they do marbles wrapped in tin foil. The Select Colossus has a more anatomically correct look to his sculpt, in turn creating a more realistic look. I mean, as much as a metal skin mutant powerhouse can look realistic. I also feel the wider apart indented lines of his segmented body make for a less busy sculpt that's a bit easier on the eye. Instead of heavy paint wash, the lighter metallic silver of the Select lets its reflection of light create light and shade, leading to a new car-driven, straight-off-the-lot look compared to the Legends battle-worn old banger one. Beyond that, a nice subtlety I enjoy is the contrast between the flatter red of what would be the fabric costume against the metallic paint applied to his belt and wrist gauntlets. Just a nice level of consideration that could have been easily overlooked. Taking a closer look, and if the Legends one exceeds anywhere in my opinion, it's with the head sculpt. I just think compared to the Select, it just has more of a comic book flair about it. Now looking at articulation, and they both have heads that rotate, and then surprisingly the Legends doesn't have a neck hinge, whereas the Marvel Selects one does, meaning it can look up and down, and the Legends one sadly can't. But then this is where Toy Biz could get needlessly self-indulgent with the articulation as well. The head rotates, it rotates again a centimetre lower at the base of the neck. At the shoulder, their arms both rotate, although the way his costume angles out does inhibit some of that rotation, and then they're both able to hinge up, the Legends one much more. Then in addition to the shoulder hinge, the Toy Biz one also has this weird armpit joint which hinges up and down, it kind of doubling up on the articulation unnecessarily. Both feature upper arm rotation and single jointed elbows. Then the Select one has a hand that rotates at the wrist, whereas the Toy Biz one rotates at the top of the wrist gauntlet, and then they both have hinged hands. Then additionally, the Toy Biz one has hinged fingers, great if you want to pose him holding something, but then it has a curiously articulated thumb, which other than delivering a Fonzie style thumbs up, I'm not sure how practical it is. The Legends one has waist rotation, then the Select has a rotating diaphragm joint, and that joint moves about as far forward as the Legends ab crunch does, but the Legends ab crunch moves a bit further back. Concerning the hip articulation, the Select one does take a lot more finagling and has a less range of motion in each direction. They both have upper leg rotation followed by double jointed knees, and then there's mid-calf rotation too, and the feet are hinge moving backwards and forwards, and then the Select has the crazy ankle rocker pivot that I love, and the Legends one doesn't. What? So here both standing at their widest stances possible, still with both feet flat on the floor, and if you had told me 10 years ago that a Marvel Select would be out pivoting a Marvel Legends, I'd have laughed. Yet here and now it stands as a testament to the improvements in articulation Diamond Select have made with their Marvel Selects. However, the Legends Colossus does have toe articulation, and you might be like, yeah, so what? As it's something we rarely see anymore, but for a naturalistic walking pose, it sure does come in handy. For the Select's accessory, it refers back to that classic comic cover pictured on the packaging back. It's a hydraulic vise from a Danger Room training sequence. It shows nice attention to the comic histories. It's not an accessory I'd have thought of off the top of my head, yet while it has a solid comic context, the accessory itself is very contextless. It does have some holes on the back, perhaps with those it could be mounted on screws on a wall, displaying it at a height where Colossus could show off his punching prowess to the Professor and the rest of the X-Men. As for the Legends one, it came with a display base, but alas I couldn't find the one mine came with. It may have been lost to time now, but while a little hard to make out, it depicts a destroyed Sentinel, or at least a part of one. It's something Toy Biz did across a number of their Legends X-Men action figures, each coming with a base representing a unique part of a Sentinel they destroyed in battle. So do pipe up in the comments with your opinion, but for me, I'm siding with the Select here, and in doing so I'm frankly surprising myself. And I say that as the Legends Colossus is one I've always held in high esteem. Yet now looking at it 10 plus years later, and it's certainly showing its age. Don't get me wrong, an incredible action figure for its time, representing a truly giant leap from the likes of Toy Biz's earliest efforts with the character. But time has again rolled on, and while I say that passing of time has not represented an equal giant leap again, yet I'm still not sure it fits into a modern collection. Stylistically, the Select to my eye represents a better modern fit. Of course, contentious with Selects are their size. The Select measures 8 inches and the Legends 7 inches. Here sandwiching the Legends Red Hulk Bathwave Wolverine in between them, and so at 7 inches in the 6-inch scale, the Legends Colossus would stand 7 feet tall, a good comparative height for the character, making the Select Colossus appropriately scaled for the 7-inch scale Select line seen here next to the Select Wolverine. I know those who exclusively collect Legends outnumber those that collect Selects by some margin, so many will just automatically side with a Legends between the two. In that vein, I favour the larger Selects, Juggernaut, Rhino, Hulkbuster, Abomination, ones that you can fudge into Legends scale as owing to the size of those characters. Various artists depict them variably sized depending on their own style in the comic books. Yet I'm not sure that's true with Colossus here. As a kid, this X-Men poster featuring the artwork of R. Adams was a constant on my bedroom wall. Oh, good times. As depicted on the poster, Colossus is much taller than the rest of the X-Men, yet also depicted broader. I think had the Select been broader, then those hulking proportions might have diffused some of his height and made him more scalable to regular 6-inch Legends. But then in my own display, I think having action figures staggered in height around him, from the smaller Jubilee and Magic to the larger Warpath to then elevating Storm as if she's taken to air, does help diffuse his height and make him a better fit. By the way, it's been suggested I do a collection tour when I hit 100,000 subscribers, which I'm only about 5,000 away from, so if you want to see that video sooner rather than later, you can help me out by liking and sharing this video and bring fresh eyes to it. And I hope to see you all next time. Bye.